Thoughts on last weekend?
I thought we wrestled pretty good. We had a good outing. I mean, Iowa State's it's a good team. I think that's the team to beat in the Big 12 for sure. I mean, what I see right now, I saw a balanced team with some heavy hitters and good. I think we won 4 matches. Likely for us to win that dual meet, we're going to need 6. Came close on that 5th one, but we couldn't find that 6th one for sure. But thought we overcame some mistakes at Northern Iowa. Sheets picking up the pin, and so I wasn't disappointed. I thought we had great effort, but man, did we make some mistakes, not finishing single legs and things like that. And so that's a lot better feeling than when you wrestle poor and not wrestling well. So effort was there. When the effort's there, you feel good about things when you walk away, knowing this, hey, we need to clean some things up. We got to score on our single legs. Did a good job riding. We did a great job coming off the mat. Those are things that you want to see as you hit this stretch of matches that we're getting ready to see.
You think 7-8 took it a little personal this weekend and goes out and goes 9-8 now, Carter?
Yeah, I think he did. Let's keep it personal as you prepare for this week. And so I like that several of our guys has got a rough road ahead, and I think the good thing about that is it's not even that tough. I might have said this last week. Some of those guys, it's not going to be that tough at nationals. What you got to go through, you don't have to wrestle everyone in the top 10. You have to wrestle a few of them, and so that's good. Just get them to feel and see where they're at.
How bad was Woodlake?
Woodlake will wrestle this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said he got a little banged up in practice or something.
Yeah, literally the last second of practice last week, but he was ready to go all week, and he would have went for us if we felt like we needed him, and we did it at Iowa State. But in the end, it was best that we did keep him off and give him a better shot to be healthy for this weekend.
Coach, 4 duels in 8 days, going back to last weekend, Friday, and then Sunday. Just what's that like when you have this many duels?
I didn't do the schedule.
That's right. But just compared to like other parts in the season where you may go a week or 2 weeks without a duel, what's that change in the practice room? And just
well, it's short. It's short. You're in there short, and you work around a day off too, a mandatory day off. So I mean, it's not ideal what we have by any means. I didn't set it up. Just kind of falls that way when you're in the Big 12 and you're trying to snatch up Big 10 opponents and things like that, or people on the road. You want some new people in here. You got to make some sacrifices and go to their. We wrestled all 3 Iowa schools in Iowa this year. We don't want to see that. Hopefully in the future, but I'm going to wrestle them all here next year. We need the home dual meets, or OSU does anyway, and hopefully then we can balance it back out. But I think that the way the schedule is, I'm not against what we're doing. I'm really excited about what we're doing, and I think for the most part, I like the fact that our team is embracing it and training and overcoming a little bit of anxiety, overcoming some of those guys that you feel like that need to kind of toughen up and look like they're walking out there a little bit with big eyes. You're not seeing it as much, and so that's the good thing, is that these guys there's no fear. you know, and a little bit in some of them at times I see, but I'm starting to not see it, you know, and I think when we get through this time and these matches, I think we're going to have we should have some pretty solid guys.
Earlier in the week,
Hopefully they're healthy though. Right?
earlier in the week, you said that Reese Whitcraft could potentially go down to 125. What are you expecting to see out of him at that weight?
He's wrestling 25 this weekend. Yeah, both matches.
What are you expecting to see out of him?
We're watching. Yeah, I mean, he's ready to go. He really made a big commitment for us, and you know, I think that's where he always should be. But I really think over the course of the last month, he's done a nice job of just controlling things. His weight doesn't seem like it's an issue. I mean, it's not the Reese Whitcraft 2 years ago that was stumbling around and, you know, poorly taking care of his health, you know, and his weight. You know, it's really seems to be a mature kid that looks forward to this shot, and I'm really proud to see him make that commitment, you know, and do things right, and that's what he's done. So why haven't we pulled him out? Because there is a weight reduction with the NCAA. If you weigh in at a certain weight, you can only lose so much weight per week, 1.5% of your body weight per week. And last week, he was 1/10 from wrestling. Literally 1/10.
Is that maybe a sign?
So you're talking less than a quarter of a pound.
Is that moving Reese down a sign that Master may be a little bit longer than you anticipated originally?
You know, I'm not going to visit about Mastro much anymore right now. I just we'll see. Just wish him the best and make sure that he's healthy. We got to, you know, we got to get guys ready and we got to prepare for at all times who's going to back who up, right? I mean, it's got to happen all the time right now. I don't. You know, we got to prepare now for a 33 pounder if something happens to Dayton, you know, and so we saw the guys that wrestled up at NEO, you know, had a lot of success if you haven't seen that. And Cooper moved up to 41 without telling me. Cooper, what are you doing? You know, I mean, you know, you weighed in at 41. So what does that tell you? My 33 pounder can't wrestle at 33 for 4 weeks or 3 weeks. So if something happens to Dayton, I'm without a 33 pounder. You know, that's the challenges that we have with some of these weigh-in rules that are really complicated.
You
Tough.
didn't tell anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Anyone,
Huh.
you know, but Cooper, mistake.
Well, let's hope 33 stays healthy.
No,
yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
but that's what you do all the time. You're always prepared, and you're always preparing yourself for somebody being hurt.
You mentioned Iowa State glowingly, and obviously watching that duel, they're a very talented team.
Yeah.
I thought Northern Iowa is
They're
very
good.
talented.
They're good.
We
Yeah.
talked about the league being better. I know Michigan's next, but you get Missouri when you come back here
Yeah.
this weekend, and they are the defending champs. So that's another one.
Yeah.
I'm
They
expecting
got
them
two
to
or
be
three
pretty good.
number one guys, I think, ranked number 1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir. Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
165 and 197.
Yeah. Let's get after it. Let's do it, right? You know, they do have to wrestle us. I said that last week too. You know, we're pretty good. You know, getting better, and so I think both teams. I think last year, you know, they pretty much came back with their same team, and we struggled last year at this time against them. Had 2 guys out for the, you know, pretty much for the rest of the season. And so, you know, it's funny that neither one of those guys are wrestled this week or this past week either. You know, and we're finding ways to scrap with people and get and be competitive. And so I look forward. I'm really excited about these two matches that we got. They're gonna help us a lot.
Before that home duel, like I said, you go down to Arlington. What do you think they learned, and what do you expect to be different about that event than it was a year ago? I mean, one thing I hear is that the position of where the mat will be with the relation to
Yeah.
the stands should be better for fans.
Could be, you know. That last year where they put it, but they're going to find out, you know, that Michigan's not Iowa. You know, so what I mean by that is maybe we're wrestling on a Friday night. You know, makes it a little tougher. You know, so Michigan. I mean, what I've seen of them. I don't even know. I can't even remember the last time we've had an individual matchup with Michigan. It's been a long time. Just an individual matchup at some tournament or the
19
NCAA.
years, I believe.
Huh?
19 years, I believe.
Wow.
I think it's been it was like 2004-ish when you guys.
Yeah,
last
but
time
I'm
you guys
talking
had
about
to-
just any individual match.
In tournaments.
Seems like, you know, maybe goes all the way back to maybe Johnny Hendricks. You know, I don't know. It's been a while, right? Torella? Yeah. It's been a long time. I'm sure it's somewhere, but just they've been a good, solid program. They've had some nice transfers. It's made a difference for their team.
Looking back at 65 and 41, two guys that really had good performances this weekend, but have also been inconsistent throughout the season. Do you think these were the matches that showed what these guys are truly capable
Hell yeah.
of?
Yeah. Sheets needed to get off his ass and start doing something. You know? Or you know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's time. I mean, watching that, just, you know, knowing who he is, knowing what he's about, it's like, that's unacceptable. Who you are and what you're about, it's got nothing to do with the way you're wrestling. That's for damn sure. You know, what is going on, you know? A little heart-to-heart talk, and he's, you know, kicked it forward and seems to be doing a lot better. He looked excited this weekend about what he was doing, you know, and we did alter his workouts, you know, and I think that's made a big difference too as well. It's helped him with his confidence and his power.
Not
How do
just-
you maintain that with these, like, you're talking about Carter and Sheets both wrestling kind of their best this last weekend. You still got a couple months left in the season, or you know, we're about a month left in the season. How do you keep that going as a staff?
Well, you just, you know, you're not their friend. You know, you got to be careful with that, right? I mean, you start wrestling better, that's good. But let me remind you that we've seen, you know, some things. You know, Carter, you know, did a nice job, jumped up 12-1, and then where'd he go, right? You know, and so got taken down 3 times in the second. You know, and literally put on a defensive performance in that first period, and just out hustled, out scrapped him, out scrambled him, and it was just like, wow, that was good, you know. And then, you know, we have the second period, you know, that he little leagued us, you know, literally. So I hope I answered that, but yeah, there's so much of the season left. I mean, really, guys, it's like, I consider this normally about the halfway mark, right? You know, you're February 1, you know, you wrestle in January, and you know, a little bit in December, a little bit in November, but not a lot. I mean, so we got several dual meets that's still alive.
Coach Cliff Keen wrestled here, obviously. I mean, made himself a name at Michigan. What can you say about, you know, the impact of he's had on the sport and
Cliff
obviously
Keen?
Yeah, Cliff Keen.
Oh, wow, you know, what a great man. Yeah, it's got a great history here. You know, he's somewhere up here, over there. Yeah, he's done a lot with Michigan, right? So he's got an interesting story, you know, and as far as being a wrestling coach and a football coach. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, interesting story. But his son is who I knew well, and he's older than me, but was always really good to me when I was training, and really did a lot for me from the standpoint of supporting me when I was a lot younger and getting places and training. So, yeah, he's a great part of Oklahoma State, and he's been a great part of Michigan.
I know you still have more of the season to go, but having a good chunk of that gone, what's your comfortability level? Kind of what are some of the things that you feel like you guys are doing really well at this point? Without giving too much away.
Well,
to the
chunk. We got
competition.
2. How many matches we got left? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 matches. You know, you think about it, you got 6 matches and we got 16 dates. You know, and so. What was your question again?
Just your comfortability level. What do you feel like you guys are doing really good at this point in the season?
Well, I
going
thought we
into
looked a lot better on the mat last week. You know, we were popping up off of it. We had some riding times. Carter Young had turns, you know, with riding times in both of his matches. Rolled the guy out at Iowa State to win the match. We won 2 matches at Iowa State without a takedown. That was at 25 and G-Feller. Or excuse me, not 25, but Carter and G-Feller. You know, that's finding ways to win, right? And we found the way to win on the mat. You know, I guess the one that struggled a little bit on the mat was Victor. I mean, he lost both matches on the mat underneath. He got turned for 2. Didn't give up riding time in that match, but he got turned for 2, which was the difference in the match, 3-1. You know, and then he had riding time against him in a 5-4 loss. Was it 5-4? Yeah, 5-4 loss against Northern Iowa. So he's right there. You know, he's doing a lot of things, but he's not. He needs to climb over that hump. You know, and pick up that takedown and not lose the scramble. I mean, he was in on the legs again to win that match at UNI and got in the scramble and got lost a little bit. You know, and so those are things that he needs to iron out. But we look better on our feet, even though we only had two guys score takedowns against Iowa State. You know, that's okay for now. You know, I mean, but I think the team that we went with, you know, might have been a little bit of the problem, but in the end, we need to continue to get better on our feet, and making sure we're not giving up cheap takedowns. You know, that's one thing that we've seen a little bit of, is just easy takedowns. Our defense not holding up. You know, everybody's going to this scramble, as you're seeing across the country, and we have worked it as well. I mean, we're seeing literally, we're seeing college wrestling change, right? You know, and I've been a part of some of these changes over the years, and we're seeing this scrambling becoming real. You know, and we're seeing guys limping off the mat a lot. You know, and we're seeing officials hold calls way too long. You know, and so now we always seem to have a tendency, and this may be in every sport, but we always have a tendency to be behind in what we need to be doing on the mat and how we should be calling, you know, close situations. You know, I mean, you know, the guy that's taking the shot, if he ends up in the scramble and somehow the guy ends up on his leg down here and I'm underneath 2 arms, that's 2, should be 2, give the points. Okay, because if you don't, the guy, when I start moving, he's going to take my foot out, you know, and he's liable to put me in a brace for 3 weeks. So, you know, hopefully, given quicker points, we need to, because of the changing that's happened so fast with this scrambling, we need to see quicker points for strictly for injury purpose. Okay, it's real important, you know, that hopefully we move in that direction.
with Serber right now, where do you kind of see him at?
I thought he wrestled. He gave me a lot of confidence with the match he wrestled at Iowa State. I think that guy can win the national tournament. He's good. About 26, 27 years old, but he's good. Good. I mean, he's good. He went out and competed with him. He was injured. He got hurt from the night before. Stinger, I shouldn't say. Nothing that we have any concern with, other than, you know, we'll probably see him the rest of the season, you know, flinch a little bit and might bother him. But with him, I'm just seeing a level of maturity, you know, like I'm not spooked anymore. I'm ready. I'm feeling good about what I'm doing.
So when he had the injury timeout on Sunday at Iowa State, the injury had actually occurred at Northern Iowa, and it just didn't flare up. I thought it was. I thought it was right then. So it actually happened to him the night before.
I don't know if you guys knew. No, in that first action at Northern Iowa, when they went off the side of the mat and he landed,
Okay.
I thought he knocked himself out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was at UNI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was carried over. But again, it's not that we need to be real concerned with. Just he's worked out every day this week. But just I thought he competed well. He was in on the legs. He didn't finish on a couple takedowns. Now the guy's really athletic and forced him to make some mistakes. But that match could have been thrown into a battle match if he scores a takedown rather than what it end up 7-3 or 7-2. It could have been a lot closer, but I was pleased with his effort.
Do you think he had that?
He excited me. Like, you know, that's a tough weight. That's a deep weight with some talent. 97 pounders, a lot of talent in 1980s. I mean, it's as good as a 97-pound weight class as I've seen. You know, and I mean that's saying a lot. I've been around a long time, so at 97, it's good. But hey, Serber's good.
No.
It's coming.
What did you think about his matchup with the Missouri kid this weekend? I think he's number one right now. I mean, doesn't have that physical maturity. He's not as old as the other guy.
Who are you talking about?
Elam from Missouri.
Yeah.
Serber.
You mean Serber?
Yeah. Pretty tough back to back.
You know, it's hard for me to get wrapped around Missouri. You know, with Michigan ahead of us. I hadn't even looked at it really. I'll just tell you this: it's going to be a match. Yeah, count on it.